Hello and welcome to a vintage league. I'm going to be playing a paradoxical outcome deck. This is the deck list. I took a list that I found online, and the only change I made was Potentials of Agony in over a Narset. I played a few matches with the deck, and I kind of felt that the Narset was just a little underwhelming, and I'd rather have a second win condition over the Monastery Mentor that the deck plays. So here we are. This is a keep for me. Got a Tolarian Academy, a couple of lands, and a Brainstorm with a fetch line. So pretty happy to keep this, plus a piece of Disruption with Flusterstorm. Obviously, we're a little weak to opponent going off on turn 1, but assuming that doesn't happen, I think we're in pretty decent shape. So easy keep for me. And Drawn Tinker doesn't really change too much here. We're going to keep the mana open and Brainstorm on end step if we don't need to Flusterstorm something. Tinker obviously can help us just go off on that turn 2 win if things line up properly. So that's what we're going to aim for. So we will Brainstorm end of turn. Hurkyl's Recall, Preordain, Tundra. Pretty happy to see Tundra. We do need white sources. I think I'm just going to put 2 lands back on top. And then we will have to draw one of them, but we have the Polluted Delta to shuffle the other one away. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I haven't seen a whole lot from the opponent, so we'll just take Underground Sea here. Preordain. Vampiric Tutor, Mox Ruby. So I think I like keep. Although realistically, probably just gonna be shuffling away. We keep the Mox Ruby, draw that. We can just get a Bolas's Citadel here. And then the opponent would need double counterspell in order for us to get punished. So we'll go ahead and add blue here. Use the red source. See if the opponent tries to counter here. They might have a Hurkyl's Recall of their own, and they just plan on making us pick up the Bolas's Citadel. And there's the Force. We're going to go ahead and Flusterstorm that. And hopefully they don't have a second counterspell. And it looks like Tinker's going to resolve. Eventually. Wow, they have a second Force of Will. Alright, well, we got 4 cards out of their hand. Obviously that hurts us quite a bit, but nothing you can do about it. And they exiled Brain Freeze and Treasure Cruise, so we're probably up against a mirror match here. Now I'm really glad I kept that Vampiric Tutor. So there's no reason for us to do that during the main phase, so we'll just send it back to the opponent here. And hopefully we don't get blown out. Probably just going to end up Vampiric Tutoring for Ancestral Recall. Opponent missed their land drop. They have 2 cards in hand. Are they going to counter this Vampiric Tutor? No. Okay. We could get Yawgmoth's Will, which, if they don't have a counter, would let us potentially go off. It might be better than anything else. I think we'll go for it. It's definitely the another high risk choice, but that's what Vintage is all about: high risk, high reward. So we're gonna go for it and see what happens. And it resolves. Excellent. And I am going to play the land out of the graveyard here because of Flusterstorm. And Brainstorm as well. And we'll get the Bolas's Citadel. And we should have it here. Can't imagine we don't. Let's Brainstorm. Let's put Outcome first. And then Mox Opal. Cast the Mox Opal. Add mana. Outcome. That'll let us draw 2. And I don't really see a way for us to lose here, but I guess it's technically possible. I'm actually really happy with all of those, so I'll go ahead and draw the Probe just because we don't necessarily need to play that off the top. So I guess it would have been better actually because it would have only cost 1. So it was a technical misplay. Let's see what they got in their hand. Bolt and Dig through time. Okay, so they have a chance at stopping us, I suppose. Probably not a very big one. The opponent is not not pressed F6. And we'll draw 4 here. Or we'll draw 2. I don't understand how that happened. That's frustrating. Force of Will on top. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and draw with the Repeal. It's probably a good thing to have that in our hand anyways. I guess technically we can fizzle here. Lightning Bolt us down to 3. Okay, you got it. We'll take Volcanic. And we can't really afford to play that. Man, we like super fizzled here. Let's see. We can Brainstorm. Rather, Preordain from the graveyard. We will bottom. Mox Opal's free. Wow. Trying to think if there's a way here. The Empiric Tutor down to 1. We can put something on top, but I don't think that anything we can put on top would be good. I guess we'll just keep the Repeal on top. This is a fizzle right here. Interesting. So we'll send it back to the opponent. I mean, we've got plenty of counter magic in hand. We'll just discard these 2 fetch lands that are dead cards for us. We definitely don't want to play Mana Crypt because that can just leave us dead. Opponent fetches. Dig through time, I'm guessing. Gush. I'm actually happy to counter that. So we know the opponent has a land and a dig through time in their hand. They're going to get to dig here. But that's about all they can do. Alright, opponent has chosen their 2 cards. They preordain. They preordain. Black Lotus. So it's top bottom on that preordain. We're kind of at their mercy here. Merchant Scroll. I'm assuming they're going to Ancestral here. Yes. Okay. And another preordain. Okay, opponent passes it back to us. I'm assuming they were able to find some interaction there. They drew a ton of cards, got a ton of looks. So let's see, I can just cast this preordain and hope that I've got Tendrils of Agony on the top. I think I'm going to start with Mana Crypt here. I'm going to repeal the Mana Crypt. Draw the Preordain. Hey, there's tendrils. Okay. So we will Preordain. I suppose it could be good to have that dig through time if we need it. I don't think we will, but I will top just in case. Mana Crypt. Make black mana. Keep the new one. Make black mana. It's probably wrong to play a land here, but we know we've got dig through time on top. I'm gonna play the Tolarian Academy. It taps for a bunch of mana here, so we're gonna Tendrils of Agony and hope we're not dead. This at least gets us out of a range where we can't do anything, and can let us keep using the Bolas of Citadel. Okay, so it looks like these are going to resolve, so that's amazing. So obviously we don't kill the opponent here, but it's going to give us time, which is what we really need. We'll be able to dig through time here. And dig through time should be able to let us do exactly what we need to do. So dig through time finds us Time Walk and Monastery Mentor. We got a Paradoxical on the top, so that's beautiful. So I don't think we necessarily want to go to 2. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, interesting. So I have 2 Paradoxical here in order to get the white mana for this Monastery Mentor. Oh, and there's the Mox Pearl. Okay, so Mox Pearl. And the opponent should just scoop to this. Mentor. Blue mana, Time Walk. That ought to do it. There we go. Opponent scoops him up. Alright. Perfect. So, this looks to be some kind of mirror match. So, I don't know how good Hurkyl's Recall is going to be against this deck in particular. I know I definitely want Pyroblast. So, definitely bringing in the Pyroblast. Fluster Storm also seems like it could be good for us. I don't think we're going to need Island. Blightsteel versus Citadel. I don't think we necessarily need both. I think Lavinia's probably going to be good against this opponent. Could trim a top. Recall. Maybe repeal. We'll run it back like this. I am fairly new to Vintage. I've played 2 leagues before this league just to kind of get a feel for the format, get a feel for the deck, and it felt super powerful. Lots of good stuff going on. And I definitely made some mistakes, and I think I've definitely learned from those mistakes a little bit. This looks like a good hand. We got Preordain, Black Lotus, Mana Crypt, so we've got access to a ton of mana early. So if we can Preordain into something like either Bolas's Citadel or Tinker, we kind of just have the nuts. Plus we've got Force of Will backup and Dig Through Time if we need it. So I like this hand. Opponent's going straight for it. What do you got, opponent? Preordain. You may Preordain. The only thing we're missing here is red mana for this Pyroblast, but I feel pretty good. Merchant Scroll. Probably to find Ancestral, so you may do that. And then we'll just counter the Ancestral Recall. They're going to do it on our turn. I am going to counter it. I don't want them drawing 3 cards here. So we'll pitch this Dig Through Time. Perfect. Outcome. That's a great draw. Alright, so let's Preordain first thing. Pyroblast, Underground Sea. We're going to bottom. Not super happy with either of those right now. Top is fine. I don't hate top here. So let's go ahead and play plus spin the top. See what we've got. Misty, Mox Opal, Tundra. Okay, Misty, Mox Opal, Tundra. I think that's the order we want to draw these cards. Although I could be wrong. Actually, we probably want to draw that Mox Opal before the Tundra. Sorry, before the Misty. Just because we've got this Paradoxical Outcome. Then I'm going to go ahead and cast this Black Lotus. We'll send it to the opponent. And then we should be able to draw 4 cards next turn. 4 extra cards, 5 extra cards because of the top. So, assuming the opponent doesn't have a interaction spell for our Paradoxical Outcome. Scalding Tarn, go, they say. Alright. Alright, so Tails never fails. Hey, Tails never fails. Alright. So, Mox Opal. We'll make blue mana. Hold control. And then outcome. Those 4 cards. Opponent's got Pyroblast for our Paradoxical Outcome. Alright, well, there's nothing we can do about that. So we will draw this Misty. I'm going to play the Misty out. And I do see a world where we shuffle away that top. But I don't like that world. It's not my ideal choice. Opponent cracks, they're flooded. Sprite Dragon. We'll go ahead and let that resolve. we'll take 1. I don't mind taking 1 here. All right. Tails. 1 the flip again. Excellent. All right, so let's play out this top. We will spin the top. And I don't like any of these, so this is where we shuffle. We'll get a volcanic. And I'm going to go ahead and spin the top again, main phase. Paradoxical, Preordained Tundra. So those are all good cards. Is there a chance we want to draw that Paradoxical on the end step? Sure. I don't see it though. So we'll draw Preordained for the main phase. And then if something happens and we want to change that, we'll do it on the opponent's end step because we still got mana available to us. Brainstorm. Ooh. I'm going to let that go. That might be wrong. I'm going to let that go because I really want to protect the Paradoxical. It's going to draw us 4. So. So the opponent has exactly 2 cards in hand. So I guess the question is, do I want to preordain before I use Paradoxical? And I don't think I do. So I'm going to rearrange the top of this pile. And we will draw Paradoxical for turn. Opponent doesn't know what to make of that information. Okay. And so heads. Look at that. Coin flip and genius. Alright, so let's try to draw 5 cards here. We've got Pyroblast backup if the opponent has a Force of Will. And that's another Pyroblast. Alright, so in response to that, we're just going to let that happen, unfortunately. Draw this Preordain. Tundra top. At this point, I think I'm going to send the top to the bottom. Again, maybe that's wrong. This little dragon's getting in for a lot. Do I Demonic Tutor for anything this turn? If I do that, it shuts off Mox Opal. So no. Our life total's starting to get low. They try to... Oof. Okay. Well, I think we're going to trade Black Lotus. For Ancestral Recall. Take 4 down to 11. And say a prayer. Let's see. On our turn, if we draw Mana Vault, we can Demonic Tutor for Tinker. If we draw Tinker, we can Demonic Tutor for any artifact. If we draw Bolas' Citadel, we scoop. Lose the flip down to 8. Brainstorm is fine. Do I want to brainstorm before? That's the wrong land. Tapping for that. I don't think I do. I think it's Demonic Tutor first, and then brainstorm. I don't know what brainstorm can find that's good enough, honestly. Ancestral's pretty good. We can take Ancestral here. I think that's what I'll take. Hope we hit something good. Soul Ring. Soul Ring turns on Mox Opal. Probably should have kept that Underground Sea in hand. Yeah, definitely should have kept that Underground Sea in hand. Let's see. So we keep the Tinker 100%. Hope Tinker's good enough. I do need to play a little faster, I'm realizing. So let's get rid of this Mox Mana Crypt because it's costing us life. We'll take the Bolas' Citadel and hope we're not dead here. Flusterstorm. Gotcha. Alright. Well, at least we've got a counterspell on top of the deck. But we're gonna need more than that. And I'm running low on time. So if it looks like I'm not gonna win this one, I'm probably just gonna need to scoop. So we'll just scoop. Okay. You got it, opponent. Maybe I should have used Pyroblast on that Sprite Dragon a long time ago. And took a lot of incremental damage from that thing that added up over time. Seeing the Sprite Dragon kind of makes me want to bring the repeals in. And I kind of want to bring in the Blightsteel Colossus. So let's go ahead and bring in Blightsteel over Bolas' Citadel. I don't know if that's right. And then I like the way it is. We'll run it back. So at least we get to be on the play here. This is a pretty good hand. I like this. So we'll lead with Mox Jet. Top. Polluted Delta. Crack Polluted Delta. 4. Volcanic Island. Spin the top. Dig Through Time, Pyroblast, Pyroblast. Those are all kind of garbage. And by kind of garbage, I mean those are all really bad. Mock Sapphire. Ponder. Resolves. Alright, take our draw, spin this top again. Tendrils, oh. Garbage, okay. So we'll take this Pyroblast again, just in case we need another one. Send it back to the opponent. I guess shuffling with that Polluted Delta was really quite a mistake. The reason I decided to shuffle, I know I didn't really mention it, we're going to Pyroblast this, was to get an early top spin. That ended up not mattering too much. Go ahead and spin the top again. There are cards that can be on top that just win us the game here, but alright, Flusterstorm. Draw Flusterstorm next. I mean, any mana source lets us tinker, so. Preordain, it's fine. Opponent's tanking, top, bottom. We will Pyroblast Lavinia, of course. And I will force your force. Alright, that resolves. Excellent. I will spin top at the end of the opponent's turn this time. Time Walk. Go ahead and Flusterstorm that. Opponent misses their land drop, so that's nice to see. Spin top. A Mox Ruby, alright. So we will draw Mox Ruby, of course. We'll go ahead and sacrifice the Ruby. And we'll go ahead and take Blightsteel. And anything other than Hurkyl's Recall should give us the game here. Ancestral Recall, you got it. Crack your fetch. Suppose they could also have Swords to Plowshare, but it doesn't seem very likely. Treasure Cruise. Let's go ahead and just draw a card here. Maybe it's Force. Nope, okay. And they had swords. Wonderful. So we know we're drawing hot garbage for the turn. Don't think we can win, but I'll play it out. We'll go ahead and counter Narset here. Mental Misstep could be good. Sanctuary for your recall. Alright, let's see. Well, Island Dig Through Time. We might actually be able to get somewhere. I've never seen that card before, so I don't know what it does. Gotcha. Alright. They draw their Ancestral. We're going to go ahead and Mental Misstep it. Draw Island, draw Dig. Didn't realize that it was going to work that way. Obvious mistake. Well, see you in the next one. Alright, here we are with round 2. Let's see. We got a turn 1 Lavinia, which I'm happy to do. And if we hit another mana source, we can get this Mentor down. I'm actually really happy with this. With the sand, so I'm going to keep. And then if we need to, on turn 2, we can go ahead and Time Walk. But I really like just to hit the land. Okay. Force, pitching, Mental Misstep. You got it. I'd rather see that get countered than our Monastery Mentor or our Time Walk. Mox Jet. So it looks like this might be a mirror match. I'll Time Walk. Let me draw a card. And hitting a land would be pretty nice. Mox Opal. I mean, I'll play it out, but it doesn't really do anything. Maybe I shouldn't have played it out because of the Monastery Mentor. I don't know. Let me know if I'm doing this wrong. Alright, opponent gets a Tropical Island, so Let's see. Strip mine are volcanic. Let's go ahead and float this red. Pass through. Strip mine's a good magic card. They really shouldn't have printed it. Force of will, alright. So we'll send it back to the opponent since we can't do anything at the moment. Misty. Some kind of teamer deck. Let's see. Leovold cannot resolve. No, thank you. Perfect. Alright, soldering lets us get this mentor down. It might be a good idea to wait a turn because then I'll have Mox Opal mana available for this Pyroblast, which could be relevant. So I'll wait a turn. I'm not in a rush to get this mentor down. And then we also have the potential to draw another. Alright, we're gonna counter target spell if it's blue. That's now I'm really glad I didn't play that mentor. Green mana. Deathrite Shaman. Okay. You got it. Underground Sea. Each opponent loses 2 life. Okay. So they need to have actual removal for this mentor. I'm going to wait until I have something to play with it. Opponent's only got 1 card in hand here, so I'm okay waiting. Or until I have something to pitch to force to protect it. Her? To protect her. Opponent's thinking about what they want to do here. And it looks like they're just going to pass the turn over. Nope, time lock. You got it, opponent. They're going to go ahead and get rid of our time lock. All right. You got it. Opponent's thinking about what they want to do. Come on, opponent. Opponent thought better about playing or attempting to play something. Alright, we get to have a turn. Misty. I don't mind playing the Misty out. And again, I'm just going to pass it back. Wait until we have something to do with this Monastery Mentor. 2 mana. Assassin's Trophy. Alright. You got it. We have Island to fetch. A second Deathrite Shaman. Well, I'd like to wait to crack this fetch until we hit something, but I'm going to crack it now. Go ahead and get... We do have white mana. Go ahead and get the Volcanic. Red is what we're missing. And there's the red mana. It's always right there. And then we will be able to make a monk. Hopefully we'll draw something sweet next turn that'll let us kind of run away with this. And they don't have another Assassin's Trophy. That also turns on our Mox Opal. I'll leave this underground and see in hand for now. And opponent's gonna hit us for 2 again. You got it, opponent. We are on a bit of a clock here. Opponent still has 1 card in hand. We don't know what that is. Black Lotus. Right. Well, I don't mind playing that out before we go to combat. That. And we have more than enough mana here to play out Force of Will if we need to. Now all we need is a Paradoxical Outcome. Let's get in for 5. Opponent's going to take 5 down to 11. They can always gain a couple of life. All right. We're down to 10. We're effectively at 6. Deathrite Shaman's kind of just putting in some work here. Mystic Sanctuary to get back Time Walk. Or Assassin's Trophy. Opponent's considering. I think that it's in their best interest just to get that Time Walk personally. Assassin's Trophy, okay. Well, we will happily Force of Will that. Next turn, when they go to play it. Repeal. So, do we want to do this now? Let's see. We can repeal our own mocks to get a couple more triggers. Force the opponent into block. Mana neutral. It'll give us 2 prowess triggers and a card. Opponent's got blue mana. Blue. Black. What do you got, opponent? Force of negation. Alright, well, I'm going to hard counter that. All right. Oh, and that is beautiful. That should be the game right there, I think. That's a beautiful draw. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Except for maybe Time Walk. And opponent scoops. Yeah. Yeah, they were super dead. Oh, right. That's perfect. Okay, so against this opponent, I think we definitely want Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast. Considering they've got removal, I think that the Mentor plan is probably a little worse. Like, I really just don't want to give them anything for their removal to be good with. And, like, maybe bring in this Blightsteel Colossus over the Citadel. They can't have Swords to Plowshare in their deck. And then Tormod's Crypt. I don't know, is Tormod's Crypt good against Deathrite Shaman? I feel like it could be. I feel like it definitely should be. But I don't know. Hurkle seems kind of bad, kind of mediocre. Lightning Bolt seems really good. Pyroblast seems really, really good. Maybe the tops are a little worse in this matchup because of reasons. What reasons would that be? What reasons would top be bad? I don't know. Flusterstorm seems good. I don't know that I necessarily want the other ones. Mental Misstep counters Ancestral and not much else. Definitely want the Tendrils win condition. Probably get rid of this Yawgmoth's Will. It's probably not going to be nearly as good against Deathrite Shamans. Maybe one repeal. We'll run it like that. Alright, the opponent finally decided they wanted to play first. We have We have cards in our hand. Force of Will, Flusterstorm, Pyroblast, Tormod's Crypt. We have plenty of disruption. And a Merchant Scroll. If we ever hit a second mana source, it can give us Ancestral. I'm going to keep it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's exceptional by any standard, but I'm fairly happy with this hand. And then, of course, Demonic Tutor can get us whatever we need at some point as well. So, opponent keeps 7. Let's see what they got on turn 1 here. Alright, so they start off with a Mox. Misty. Alright. Opponent passes priority back to us. Ooh, Island. That's not a good draw, considering they have Assassin's Trophy. Should have brought in that second island, perhaps. So we're going to lead Flooded Strand, Tormod's Crypt, go. And then next turn, perhaps we will Merchant Scroll for an Ancestral. Be really nice to hit a Mox. Mox Sapphires are best draw, I think, by quite a bit. Tropical Island for the opponent. Underground Sea. Opponent's got all their colors. And they're going to go for Collector Oof. Activated abilities of artifacts cannot be activated. Do I care about that? Not at the moment. At the moment, that's not very good. We have Bolt that can deal with that. So I don't think we want to Force of Will it. I'm not going to crack that yet. Mox Opal. Okay. So go ahead and I think I just want Island here, Volcanic Island. Gives us access to red and blue. Merchant Scroll's a sorcery. So I don't know what's best to get here. I think I just like going to get Ancestral. We can't cast it this turn, unfortunately, but opponent's going to Spell Pierce that. Am I okay with that? They Spell Pierce. I can Force of Will, pitching Flusterstorm, get my Ancestral. Next turn, cast it. Maybe. I don't really see a path to victory that does not include Ancestral. So let's go ahead and get Ancestral here. We'll send it back to the opponent. We are shields down at the moment. We're going to take 2 from this oof. We draw Force of Will. So if opponent has a counterspell, we have Pyroblast, so hopefully it's a... Yeah, so we have Pyroblast. Cracks Delta. You got it, opponent. So hopefully they don't have a second counterspell here, but we will definitely counter Force of Negation. Happy to get rid of that card. Draw 3, Tolarian Academy, Snap, and Tormod's Crypt. So I can just snap back that Ancestral right now. Or I can do it in combat and get rid of the oof. I like that. I like getting rid of the oof. Obviously it gives them the chance to draw into something, which is the clear downside. Play their land for turn. So we will Snapcaster. Target Ancestral. And we'll just go ahead and cast that now to use our mana. Opponent's got a counter for that? Spell Pierce. You got it, opponent. So we'll go ahead and block this. And opponent's going to play out their last card. A second Collector Oof. You got it, opponent. Soul Ring. So we'll play the Soul Ring. It's mana neutral with the Tolarian Academy. Them having that second oof kinda really hurt us, but what are you gonna do? We've got plenty of draws here that are good. Preordain. Dig Through Time. Second Force of Will, of course. Opponent's got us on a 7-turn clock. Let's see what they do. They play their land. A black source would be excellent. Gitaxian Probe's a redraw here. Because of my life total, I'm going to go ahead and tap the island for it. They have Force of Will, which they can hard cast. So they have to hard cast it. So based on that, I want to Dig Through Time on their upkeep. Force them to use the mana on their turn. And then I will force Pitching Force to get rid of his force, and then I think we'll be in pretty decent control of this game at that point. So Let's see what we've got in the top 7. Tinker, Time Walk, Paradoxical. Paradoxical. 2 Pyroblast. So let's see. If we Tinker, we can get Blightsteel. We can Paradoxical and Time Walk. So that'll draw us 4 cards. I think we just want Tinker and Time Walk. I think that's our I think that's the best path to victory here. So they have to draw exactly like one of the forces. Actually, no, that doesn't even do it for him. So we're going to tinker away Tormod's Crypt here for Blightsteel Colossus. And then we will take an extra turn. And the opponent scoops him up. Perfect. That's what you like to see. All right. See you in the next one. And we're back. Playing against a Rubber Ducky. Who doesn't know if they want to go first or not. This hand has a bunch of cards in it. There's a bunch of really good cards in it. I like this hand. I'm going to keep it, for sure. We're a mana source away from Paradoxical Outcoming. It's definitely a keep. Opponent keeps 7. And unfortunately, we do not have a Force of Negation in hand to deal with whatever the opponent could have here on turn 1. Brainstorm. Opponent's got a strong hand too, apparently. I love that Brainstorm artwork. You can just imagine like being out to sea and seeing something like that. Alright, so this might be some type of mirror match. I think Lavinia definitely could be good. It's getting less good. Okay, so does that change things? Let's see. Land Sapphire Emerald Lotus. Crack the Lotus. Float a blue. Draw 2 cards. Paradoxical Outcome. And then we'll still have mana to I think we're going to go for it here. As crazy as that sounds. And then I can Hurkyl's recall their artifacts and play Lavinia. I think I've got the mana to make this work. Or do I float a white? This can get any color of mana. So this will get Tundra. Go ahead and crack this now. Get Tundra. Paradoxical. Targeting the 2 artifacts we have. We drew Time Walk. So Lavinia. Time Walk. Vampiric Tutor. We don't have a black source. So we'll go ahead and Hurkyl's Recall the opponent. Get in for 2 and send it back. Now they can't replay those artifacts. Well, they could replay Soul Ring if they wanted to. Duress. I'm just going to go ahead and fluster that. Because we want to keep the Vampiric Tutor. Hopefully we draw a black source. Force of Will, which we cannot hardcast, but we're surprisingly close. Get him for 2. That was an excellent turn. That felt really good. I just love turns like that where you absolutely smash the opponent. Yeah, Soul Ring, you got it, opponent. Paradoxical, so let's go ahead and draw 2 here. I guess I could draw 3, but it seems a little risky. Okay, opponent scoops them. Then we would have drawn Mox Opal for the Vampiric Tutor, so perfect, excellent. So Pyroblast seems like it's going to be pretty good. Flusterstorm's going to be good. And then Hurkyl's Recall could be good. Because there's what you can do is, if you're playing against another Paradoxical Outcome deck, what you can do is you can Hurkyl's Recall all of their artifacts to their hand, and then they don't get to draw any cards. So we're definitely going to bring these in. I do like Repeal. And Lavinia was incredibly powerful there, so we're definitely keeping Lavinia in. This tough sideboarding is hard, and I don't really know how to do it. So, Mental Misstep hits Ancestral, Soul Ring, Duress, so we need to keep that in. Got 4 cards to take out. Could take out Snapcaster. Yogg's Will. I'm sorry, baby.
You could also close the doors that way when you're recording.
Okay. Okay. Maybe like a top and the tendril, and we'll run it back. Opponent gets to play first. Opponent's going to play first, and this is a hand. So if they've got duress, turn 1, we can mental misstep them. Other than that, we really don't have a whole lot. Having Bolas' Citadel in hand is kind of like mulliganing to 6. So we'll just take a mulligan. This is way better. The question is, what do we pitch? I don't know. How are you supposed to know? Is it preordain? I feel like it could be preordain here. Because Paradoxical Outcome, if I draw a mana source for turn 2, it's going to draw me a ton of cards and really just like take over the game basically. So I don't know. It kind of felt wrong. I feel like you shouldn't get rid of the best cantrip ever printed, but Ancestral. When you've got it all, you've got it all, I suppose. Let's see what's in the opponent's hand first. Brainstorm. So it looks like they don't have interaction here. So Fatal Push can get rid of the Monastery Mentor. Mana Vault. Does that change things? Yes. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Paradoxical Outcome, draw 3. So I can't play the Mentor first, unfortunately. I'll take Underground Sea here. Sapphire. Pearl. Mana Vault. Paradoxical Outcome, drawing 3. Force of Will is a good draw. And Flusterstorm. Plus Force of Will just means that the opponent... So we'll play Lavinia here. And then Flusterstorm the opponent when they attempt to Fatal Push Lavinia. And then next turn we'll Mentor, hopefully draw a mana source, and have Force of Will backup with Ancestral Recall. So they play Swamp, use Fatal Push, so we will Flusterstorm that. So they use Dark Ritual so that they can pay for Flusterstorm. Yeah, that's fine. You got it, opponent. You have successfully fatally pushed Lavinia. You got it. Proud of you. So, I think our best draw here is land. Force of Will. Let's see. Mana Vault. So unless opponent drew exactly Force of Will or Force of Negation, Ancestral Recall. Make it Monk. Top and 2 Pyroblasts. Alright, so we'll play out the top to use our mana. Then we have pitching force if we need it. And then we have double Pyroblast that we can't cast right now, but I'm sure they'll come in handy. Yep, Brainstorm happens. So we have no idea what's in the opponent's hand anymore. They probably have Dark Petition. Ancestral Recall. Let's go ahead and draw a card with our top right here. Yeah, I will happily... Actually, Merchant Scroll, get Time Walk. Nope. Doesn't work. No. Merchant Scroll can't get Time Walk. It only gets instants. So you do not get to draw 3 cards. So sorry, opponent. Mana Vault. You got it. You're allowed to have Mana Vault. No, we'll take 1. Top, trigger Prowess. Demonic Tutor and Mox Opal. So we definitely want that Mox Opal like right now. That lets us Pyroblast if we need to, so. Got a combat for like roughly 1 million. Opponent's dead on board. We've got Pyroblast available to us. So, let's see what you got, opponent. Cabal Ritual, okay. Dark Petition, you got it. I wish I had another blue card so I could have forced that, but you can't always have it all. Yogg Will, you got it. They're going to try an Ancestral here. And I think this might be where we draw the scoop. No? Opponent's not going to scoop here. Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Ooh, Polluted Delta. And then you're going to Dark Petition for a 3-drop. Not sure what they could get here. Unless they just have Tendrils in hand. Unless they're gonna... Yeah, I don't know. So they did just have tendrils in hand. Man, that's a bummer. So we're dead. Nice. Good job, opponent. If we had blue card in hand. Alright. So, Tormod's Crypt might be good. Oracle's Recall's coming out. I may want Tendrils against this opponent. We get to be on the draw. I'm sorry. We get to be on the play. Repeal against this player is going to be bad. The only thing we're repealing is our own card. So, I guess what I'm considering is, do I want to bring in the Tormod's Crypt to try and mess up their graveyard, or do I want to bring in the Sprite Dragon and try to just win really fast? If I'm bringing in the Sprite Dragon, I feel like I might want to have Hurkyl's Recall in the deck. Just because that gives us like an extra copy of Paradoxical Outcome to replay our artifacts and pump up the Sprite Dragon. I feel like we're supposed to just bring in the Tormod's Crypt though. Again, I don't quite know how to sideboard. This is a relatively new format for me and a new deck. This is a garbage hand. No mana. Gotta ship it. This is slightly better. We have Pyroblast, Merchant Scroll. Yeah. This is good. The only question is, what do we put on the bottom? Gitaxian Probe is another random card. Merchant Scroll can be Ancestral Vision. I think it's Pyroblast, because Tormod's Crypt, we brought in Tormod's Crypt, so we don't want to get rid of Tormod's Crypt. And it turns on Mox Opal. Black Lotus. Wow. Well. Forcible is going to be good here. I suppose Paradoxical Outcome also is a blue card. I need 2 mana sources in order to make Paradoxical Outcome work, so we're just going to go get Ancestral here and send it back to the opponent, and we'll pitch the Paradoxical Outcome to Force of Will to get rid of to counter this Tinker if we need to. Ooh, they've also got Duress, which I didn't realize. So I think we just lose, actually, because they're going to take the Force, so. And I think it's better just to let them take the Force. So, Underground Sea, Duress, wow. And they drew a Soul Ring. Well, the opponent had the nuts. There's not much you can do when the opponent has the nuts. You can only hope they fizzle. brutal. What's up, baby? Yes. What's up? I can edit it out. What's up?
No, I'm just... I don't know.
Talk to me.
I'm just not feeling great. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. What can I do? I'll finish this up and I'll come hang out with you, okay? Opponent's got Yogwill here, so we're gonna go ahead and crack the Tormod's Crypt. But we are in pretty bad shape here, so I don't know if there's anything we can do to get out of this. Opponent fizzles for the turn, but they still had an incredible turn 1, so. And we're 1 mana source away from Paradoxical Outcome being good. I think at this point the opponent can just probably Mystical Tutor for, or Demonic Tutor. I guess they do need to still get their storm count up. And at this point, their storm count's high enough that they've just got it. Man, that's really unfortunate. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and scoop it up. We know they got it. Alright, and we're back for match 4. Unfortunately, we're down 1-2 at the moment, but this hand gives me hope. It's a pretty easy keep. Opponent starts off with a probe. I think we'll let that happen. I don't want to waste a Forcible on a Gitaxian probe. Let them see our beautiful, beautiful hand. And I think erring on the side of turn 1 Underground Sea, Vampiric Tutor at the end of their second turn. And getting something like Tinker. Then we can Time Walk and hopefully just tinker into exactly what we need. Doomsday. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order. You lose half your life rounded up. Seems like a pretty good card. I don't know how it beats me, but I'm sure it does. We'll get rid of Preordain here. All right. Well, it's my first time seeing Doomsday. Let's see how they win. It's a really cool artwork. Well, I mean, we get to see their whole deck, so there's that. Sure, I could just look up what the deck runs, but where's the fun in that? All right. Opponent got their 5 cards. The rest of their deck includes a Gush, Time Walk, Ponder, Preordain, Force of Will, Mystical Tutor, Flusterstorm, Daze, Brainstorm, Force of Negation, Preordain. So I don't see Ancestral, so Ancestral must be in there. 5 cards. We draw Force of Will. Interesting. Thassa's Oracle's not their win condition. I'm just gonna go ahead and Ancestral Recall here. Street Wraith to cycle. You got it. Mental Misstep. Got it, opponent. For 1, 2, 3. Yep. Try the rest of your deck. Black Lotus, you got it. Thassa's Oracle. So they just have 2 Thassa's Oracle. Well, hopefully they don't also have Force of Will blue card in their hand. And they do. Absolutely incredible. Excellent. Okay. So this seems like just a pretty straightforward combo deck that we just need to deal with. Repeal seems bad. I don't think I'm going to need this combo necessarily. We need to win in one turn. I guess that shuts down counterspells. We don't need Urkel's Recall. I guess we don't really need a win condition necessarily, as weird as that is. Because the win condition is they just kill themselves. And I counter their final cards. So I just want to have all my counter magic. I guess technically Lightning Bolt is pretty good as well, because if I bolt the Thassa's Oracle with the trigger on the stack, Devotion equals 0, and when devotion equals 0, that's a good thing. We'll keep this. We'll just play Flooded Strand Go. I guess Flooded Strand Tormod Script Go. Aggressive mulligan. Surprised they don't run Serum Powder. Keeps 5. We'll play out the Tormod's Crypt. Play out Island Top, I suppose. Dark Ritual. Necropotence. Skip your draw step. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Pay 1 life. Exile the top card of your library face down. Put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. I definitely just want Volcanic Island here. Go ahead and spin the top. Pyroblast. Swell. Okay. So the beginning of the end step is before the cleanup step. So the opponent knows they're going to have to discard a bunch. I assume that's part of the combo. Alright, opponent's got 14 cards in hand. And they go to clean up. I assume they're only discarding bad cards for their deck. Opponent's really tanking on what to discard here. There we go. Discard Scalding Tarn, Daze, Street Wraith, Misty, Flooded, Delta, Force of All. Alright. So, I mean, their life total is low enough here that I feel like there's a chance we can get away with some shenanigans involving this Lightning Bolt and the Snapcaster Mage. So, that's what we're going to attempt to do. I think that's our only chance here. And opponent's going to be right back. Alright, looks like the opponent's back. Opponent casts Dark Ritual. Okay. And they cast Doomsday. Alright, well. I will pop this Tormod's Crypt in response. And we will let them do their Doomsday shenanigans. They'll go to 4 here, and it seems like part of the combo involves them Street Wraithing. So when they go to Street Wraith, we're gonna bolt, and hopefully that's good enough. I'm afraid it won't be, but and it is going to take them a minute here, it looks like. Oh, they were a little faster this time. Opponent's down to 4. Pay 1 to Gush. And I think I have to let that go. Lotus. I'm going to go ahead and spin the top here. There's one card we don't know about. Could be Force of Will. It's not. Alright, resolves. If we had another red source, I think we might have been able to do this, but so he's going to Oracle, and we're just, I don't know if there's any difference in countering it on the stack. One Force of Will, 2 Force of Will. So it looks like he's got double force. So I don't think it matters what we do here. But we'll go ahead and do it. I think it's the right thing to do. I don't think it's better to let it resolve, but it might be. And if we had the double red source, we might have gotten there. Alright, well, see you in the next one. Alright, and we're back here with the final match. This hand is kind of mediocre, but I think it's a keep. We got Mox Sobel we can activate on turn 1 here for Pyroblast, and then Force of Will backup if we need it. So I think it's definitely worth a keep. And then we've got access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana here on turn 1. So I think it's totally worth keeping. So and then if we like absolutely need to, we draw another mana source, we can dig through time on turn 2. We'd have to sacrifice and exile Black Lotus, but it could definitely be worth it, and if that mana source is a fetch land, it gets even better for us. So pretty happy with this keep overall. Opponent's deciding whether or not they want to mulligan, and we're just waiting on them. And they decided they wanted to keep. Alright, so we'll run out our cards and pass the turn. Oh, it's Rubber Ducky. We already played against this guy. So just gonna let them duress us here. There's not really a whole lot we can do. I think they take the Force of Will, but they might take Dig Through Time. If I had realized it was Rubber Ducky, I don't know that it would have impacted my decision here with the keep. I think this is a good keep regardless. And they take Force of Will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we want to right now, if we want to sacrifice this Black Lotus right now, we can Dig Through Time. I think I'm going to. We kind of need to refuel. This is a good way to start that. So we've got Merchant Scroll, Ponder. Oof, a lot of good choices here. So any one of these artifacts turns our Mox Opal back online. So I think I kind of like just taking Mox Sapphire and Merchant Scroll here. Merchant Scroll can get us an Ancestral Recall. So let's go ahead and put these back on the bottom. Time Walk. All right. I don't know that impacts what we want to do this turn. Seems like he is F6'd, so that's nice. No counter magic in hand. Interesting. So I'm not going to play out the top. Just going to leave Pyroblast available to us. And then we've got Yogwell as an option. I think the best draw by far for us is going to be Paradoxical Outcome. Mox Pearl. I don't hate seeing Mox Pearl. Let's start with top and see what Rubber Ducky does. Let's go ahead and spin. Use black mana here. Snapcaster, Tundra, Volcanic. So we'll draw Snapcaster. Let's go for the Time Walk. Resolves. So we know we got 2 lands on the way. We can snap for Ancestral, or we can snap for Time Walk. I think I just want to snap for Ancestral here. So we got another Pyroblast here. Perhaps I shouldn't have played that Tundra. That might have been wrong. Mana Crypt, Preordain, Bolas' Citadel. So I definitely want to draw this Preordain. I definitely don't want to draw Bolas' Citadel. So what I could do... I could flip the top. So let's see. I can flip the top, Preordain. Top's on top. Subscribe the top to the top, Citadel to the bottom. And then we draw Mana Crypt next turn. Or we'll just do that all next turn. I like that. Just talking to the opponent a little bit. I guess there's a tournament going on later. Gen Con Online, Vintage Champ Preliminary. View prizes. 4 wins gives you 3 or 4 wins gives you a Vintage point to enter in Sunday's Vintage Championships. All right, Mox Ruby. All right. At this point, do I have... No, I don't have enough black to just cast the Bolas' Citadel. So I'll just start with Preordain here. Put the Citadel on the bottom. And I don't even think I want to draw this Mana Crypt. Force of Will. Spin the top since we've got new cards. Those are draws. All right. So we're going to go ahead and draw this paradoxical outcome. Play out the volcanic island so we have some interaction. Tundra makes white or blue. We'll go ahead and pick up Snapcaster as well here. Give us 5 draws. Resolves, which is excellent news. So let's go ahead and play out our Moxes. And these opals at this point are lotus petals, basically. So what do we want to draw? Tinker's probably just our best draw, I think. So where is Tinker? There we go. Top. Replace the top with the Tinker. Keep the Mox Opal. Mox Opal. Keep the new one, of course. And we'll keep all of our red mana available to us. Tinker away the Pearl. Citadel. Force of Will on top is a bit of a bummer, but I think we're in good shape to win here. So we're going to go ahead and we don't even have to discard. Send it back to Ducky. And then, I mean, we've got 2 Force of Wills, 2 Pyroblasts we can cast. So I'm happy to let Dark Ritual resolve. We've got so much interaction that I'm not really worried about it. Second Dark Ritual also resolves. Third Dark Ritual resolves. Oh my gosh. Demonic Tutor does not resolve. Don't know what he's got. Tendrils of Agony, copied 5 times. So that'll hit us for 12. Which is brutal. Is there anything we can draw? Definitely in bad shape here. So if I pay 4 to Paradoxical Outcome, I kind of have to hit exactly Flusterstorm, which I don't think is a good idea. So I think we're just going to have to let this happen here, and then Force of Will is shut off, and so is the top of our library except for 0 drops. And then we have our own tendrils, so hopefully we can hit something here. So preordain on top isn't bad. So this only costs a blue, so let's go ahead and paradoxical and draw 3. Mox Emerald on the top. Mentor. Mox. 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 This is mana neutral. I guess I could pick up the Bolas' Citadel, but I don't know that that's actually the best plan. I have to get storm count up to 16 in order to dome the opponent here. So I don't know that that's necessarily even possible for me. Hurkyl's Recall. It's going to be a mana positive. I guess I could potentially get there. Don't have enough mana at this point to snap back. Ooh. Oh, yes, I do. Because of the Mox Opal. Alright. Oof. Thought I messed up there. So, the Hurkyl's Recall should do it. Let's see. Hurkyl's Recall, storm count equals 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Dead to tendrils. Unless he has... I guess since it's mana neutral, I can afford to play the top. So we're gonna Hurkyl's myself, paying blue mana. All right, so he knew we had it. And so we're playing against another Storm deck, so we definitely want Flusterstorm. Definitely want Pyroblast. We barely survived that one. I don't mind taking out Repeal here. I don't remember how I sideboarded against this opponent last time. I kind of like keeping in the Tendrils of Agony here, just because I guess there's technically a world where we can Tendrils on top of their Tendrils and ours would resolve first and kill. Snap seems meh. Actually, I guess snap is amazing. I lied. Take out one top. One Mox Opal, I guess. Alright. Vampiric Tutor, Paradoxical Outcome, Yawgmoth's Will, and 4 lands. This hand is pretty trash, so I think... Well, I guess it can definitely improve, right? Turn 1, Polluted Delta, Underground Sea, Vampiric Tutor for Ancestral. Four land sucks. I could go for Brainstorm instead of... I think I'm gonna keep. This feels like a bit of a mistake, but Underground Sea, Mox Ruby. Defense Grid. Mox Jet's a good draw for us. Mox Jet's a very good draw for us. So we need to Vampiric Tutor on our turn. I mean, is it ever right to get Brainstorm over Ancestral Recall? Like, probably not if I just want to put a couple of these lands back, but actually it's probably just Tinker since we drew the Mox Jet. Yeah, definitely just Tinker. And then Volcanic Island so that I don't accidentally fetch. Mox Jet was actually the perfect Mox to draw as well on that turn. Mana Vault. Alright, so we will Delta. And I may as well get Tundra here so that we have access to white mana. And hopefully this resolves. It does, so that's nice. Citadel. Force of Will on top is a bit of a bummer, but maybe next turn we'll be able to go off. We do have fetch land available to us, and then if we absolutely need to, we can Yawg Will. So And we can't even force because of this defense grid. Time walk, alright. Tolarian Academy. Alright, well let's hope the opponent doesn't have anything good here. Let's hope we can hit a couple of artifacts in a row. Ponder. And he sends it back to us. It's got access to roughly infinite mana. Island on top. Well, I'm going to play the island. Just going to hold up this Pyroblast and Forcible. I guess I could, pay 1 life to get rid of this Pyroblast for, no value, pretty much, but I think I'd rather hold up 2 counterspells, well, 1 counterspell, play it a little bit safe here. He does nothing. Interesting. Well, I don't mind drawing Pyroblast, honestly. It's doing a little more work in my hand than on the battlefield. Tolarian Academy is nice. Another Pyroblast. Alright, so we're just going to pay 1 life to get rid of this. And top on top is nice. Ooh. Hurkyl's Recall. I really don't want to Hurkyl's Recall because it just turns his counterspells on. It also turns Tolarian Academy off, so there's that. So this is a nice little trick that we can do with the top. Oof. I'm about to pay 4 life for this. I think I am. This draws 2 cards. And that's not what I wanted to do at all. Well, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. It already cost us 4 life. At this point, I think I'm just going to send it back to the opponent here. We'll discard Flooded Strand, I suppose. Collective Brutality. So they get to take an instant or sorcery. Yeah, you can take an instant or sorcery. It's a tough choice. I think it might be Yawgmoth's Will, honestly, depending on what's in his hand. We really need to keep Flusterstorm in case he tries to storm off. It allows us to kind of have a way to escape the Tendrils of Agony. It could be Flusterstorm here. It's tough. I don't know what I would pick. And he took Yawgmoth's Will. It's a very respectable choice. I think that's what I might have taken. It's very tough. Very tough to decide there. Alright, so end of turn. We're going to spin this top. Pyroblast. Tundra Misty. Alright, so we'll draw the Tundra. Actually, that's super wrong, isn't it? We should draw this Pyroblast. And then shuffle with Misty. And we'll take Underground Sea to make sure we have black mana, Soul Ring here. Oof. That's exactly the card you want to see right there. Probe. Only costs 1 life. Alright, so we're in the clear. He's got nothing. Let's go ahead and brainstorm. We'll leave Preordained Mox. Play the Mox. And then we're going to Outcome. Mana Vault on top. So we just need to find a win condition now. Which we do have access to with Demonic Tutor. So I might as well just go ahead and find it. Tendrils of Agony. Mox on top. So we do need to find some more black mana here. Right. Play out the top. Tap that. Outcome. Draw a bunch of cards. And there's our black mana. So we got it. And there we go. And we get the win. And look at that. All right, well, bit of a disappointing finish for us with the 1-2. But what are you going to do? Not bad. That was my third Vintage League, so hopefully we'll just continue to improve and do better and go from there. So thank you for watching. Any comments are appreciated, and any suggestions also appreciated. Have a nice day.